Well, welcome back for another adventure. I'm once again up in the Stevens Pass area. I'm actually at the summit right now at Stevens Pass Ski Resort. It's closed for the season. Um, Getting a late start today, so I'm not going to go much further up towards Forest Service Road, I think 67, find a place to camp tonight. And then maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning we'll talk about I'm actually going to go. I'm going to do more adventuring for this stint on the east side of the summit. Now, I will tell you, if everything works out, the place that I'm going is extremely remote. I don't expect to have cell service, even with my Wi-Fi puck. Now, if I do some summits, I may have cell service. So if you see this video, you have a plan of coming out here, just make sure you know what you're doing. We'll talk a little bit more about safety once I start hitting the trails, because I may end up doing some off-trail hiking. So stick around for some more great adventures. Good morning. I'm just off Service Road 6950. Last night it took a lot longer than I anticipated to find a spot. Service Road 67 was snowed in. I probably should have stopped and take a better look at it. I think that the Department of Transportation probably pushed a lot of snow out of the way into the entrance of that service road. At least one of their service road that I went down, I had to walk because I just wasn't sure if my van would have been capable enough to take it, and it ended up it wouldn't have been. This service road that I'm on, I actually wanted to go further down, but I would have needed a more capable vehicle than my van. There is a trailhead somewhere down this service road, but all in all, it ended up being a good spot to stay tonight. This railroad track, of course, is active. Trains are fairly quiet, so I didn't wake up any time overnight when the trains came through. So here in a little bit, I'll show you what my plan is for today and the rest of this weekend. Okay, I had this glorious plan to show you where I was going on a National Geographic's Trails Illustrated map. However, my camera lens was either not focusing or it was fogged up. You still might be able to make some locations out on the map, but here's the plan for the weekend. I'm going to go up by Lake Wenatchee, up Forest Service Road 62 to the Phelps Creek Trinity Trailhead area. Drive up the service road is going to take about 45 minutes, and Lake Wenatchee is about 100 miles from Seattle. So there you go. That's the plan. Okay, so as I was sitting and enjoying Nason Creek, I noticed a rope going up one of the rock faces. Wanted to investigate. It looks like there might be somewhat of a permanent climbing route there. One thing led to the next. I saw somewhat of a peak that I might be able to get to. Unfortunately, I have gotten to about as far as I can go without it getting technical. So I didn't expect to do off-trail hiking this soon in the trip, so I guess let's talk about it for a moment. I always try to orient myself quite frequently when I'm hiking so that I don't get lost. Obviously you can hear Nason Creek, so as long as I continue in the direction of the sound, I should be okay. I know that there are some power lines to my north, so I can see them periodically when I'm going up the mountain and down. And then I've kind of familiarized myself with the ridge line. And then the final thing is I always set a timeline for doing off-trail hiking, or at least check the time. I set a goal of 1 hour max hiking up. If I don't make it in that time, I'm just gonna turn around and then go back. I'm only at about 30 minutes into the hike, and I can't really go much further, but I will kind of peek around at this level to see maybe if there's another route up there. Otherwise, we'll head back down and we'll start heading to Lake Wenatchee. I don't actually think I'm gonna make it up to Forest Road 62 today, considering all the delays. Okay, so I'm going to give you an evening update and kind of explain what's going on. After I left the Nason Creek area, I did head over to Lake Wenatchee, explored that area. I did go down a service road, however, it was kind of flooded out in one spot, so I couldn't go all the way to the end where there was a trailhead. So I just moved on and found a place to camp for the evening, but you may be able to hear it in the background. It sounds like there's some thunder going on. I checked the weather, it might rain, and that service road that I had parked on earlier was all dirt, and if it starts raining, I wouldn't have been able to make it out. So I found this spot on a gravel service road, kind of, and you can see my van in the background. It's kind of probably a little bit messy because I had to leave in a hurry because I just don't know how quickly it's going to start raining, or if it even does rain. So I did see my first bear sighting on this trip as I was leaving the Nason Creek area that I was at earlier today. I was driving down the service road, and sure enough, there it was on the side of the road. Wasn't quick enough to get my GoPro out and film it, so that's what it is. The rest of the evening, I'm just gonna hang out, eat dinner, and then I'm just pretty tired from that hike up that hill, or that mountain peak, whatever you want to call it, earlier today. So there it is. Okay, so it's later on in the morning. It's almost lunchtime. I needed to come back to the Lake Wenatchee area to get some better cell service before heading out into the backcountry. While I was here, I figured I'd maybe hike a little bit on the Nason Ridge Trail, have lunch, and then eventually we'll get up, go down Forest Service Road 62. This is the best view that I've had of Lake Wenatchee. I probably should have brought my lunch. I keep getting glimpses of it. There's plenty of spots to enjoy the view while having lunch. An update that I just made a few moments ago, I should have mentioned, it didn't rain last night. So moving spots really wasn't necessary, but I think the spot that I had at the end was probably a little bit better. I will say that there was mosquitoes everywhere last night, and a little bit this morning. There is still quite a few mosquitoes on this trail, but not as nearly as bad as my other spot. So I think this will be the turnaround for my hike, have lunch, and then we'll see what happens once I get back down to Lake Wenatchee. Bad news bear. Service Road 62 is still closed down for the season. Now, I suspect why it's still closed in the middle of May is safety concerns. A popular road like this probably gets people that don't always come out to the forest. So there's probably downed trees, washouts, maybe even a little bit of snow still on the service road. They haven't had an opportunity to clear it. But I'm gonna hold off on, what the reason is completely. I am gonna hike all the way down, or I'm gonna try to hike all the way down to Finnear Creek Campground and the guard station. So we'll see how the service road is. Okay, I made it to Finnear Creek Campground. It's not a whole lot of spots, maybe 3. There might be a couple more down this way, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna walk a little bit further down the service road. I think there's a guard station, and then just check that out. Okay, I'm just up the service road from Finnear Creek Campground, and I've been studying the map. Maybe a little bit difficult to see, but there's 3 mountains there, and I think that the one on the right is Estate Butte, the one in the center is Old Gib, and the furthest one, the tallest one, is Mount Carney. I've just about made it back to the van. I'm walking down the pull-off that I parked at. It's after 5 o'clock, so I think I'm just gonna stay here for the evening. I don't think I'm gonna do any more driving today. Have a little jambalaya, and then I think tomorrow we'll go over the plan for the rest of the weekend. Good morning. Just waking up and want to stretch my legs before I do any driving today. So I'm walking down this service road 62. Yeah, it is paved. Some service roads are paved. Things haven't really been working out according to plan, but that is to be expected up here. I've decided to come back to the Stevens Pass summit. I was planning on coming back here anyways and spending a couple hours, but now I might do a little bit more than that. I might even stay the night. I'm about to take off and do the Lake Valhalla Trail. Now I know there's going to be snow, so we're just going to see how far I can go before it becomes unpassable, and then I'll come back here to the summit and hang out for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So as you can see, the trail has now become completely obscured by snow. I know I'm on the trail because I can see previous footprints. I'm always making sure to look around, look behind me, so I kind of see where I came from, so I know where I'm going back, but also I'll be able to catch my footprints. You know, paying attention to your surroundings is a good thing, because I actually passed a sign. It says Pacific Crest Trail, which is what I'm actually on. So I know I'm in the right spot. Okay, I think this is going to be the turnaround spot. I've been going for about 2 hours, and I just don't want to risk crossing this creek today. I think, based on the map, this trail actually goes a little bit further on the left side before crossing the river, but I think a lot of people have just started crossing the river here. Otherwise, I'm just going to head back to the van. I might look around for the actual trail. I'm back at the Stevens Pass ski resort. I always find ski resorts to be odd places during the off season. They're just kind of wide open. I know that this one is in the Wenatchee National Forest. PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail, does run through this facility, so they do have hikers just kind of wandering around the place, but still find it bizarre. It's just wide open like this. Alright, I'm going to call it a wrap for this video. It may end up being a little bit shorter than I would have liked, but we'll see what happens once I start editing. It's unfortunate it didn't work out with Forest Service Road 62. I think there was a lot of potential there. But other than that, I want to thank you for watching, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe.